Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here, and this is your weekly fishing report. Now, let's start off with this week here in the Upper Bay, and we're getting a little bit of feel of that fall season coming up now. Mornings, a little bit, colder weather starting to happen now, and that's good. And that's kicking in some of the good topwater bite that is going on in most of your tidal rivers right now and in the Upper Bay area. Meaning, if you're anywhere in the Patapsco, Magothy, Severn, Chester River, all those areas, Eastern Bay, this is a time to get out there before the sun comes up until maybe around 8 or 9, and you will find some fish feeding in those shallow water areas. Not necessarily just shallow water areas, but everything's going to be kind of happening early in the morning since we got the colder temperatures happening at night. Not that they're that much colder, but they're keeping the water, they're kind of dropping the temperature in the water by a few degrees to start off the day, and that's the striped bass love that. So get out there, take some poppers, 4 to 5 inch poppers, spooks, same thing, 4 to 5 inch spooks, whatever color you like. Honestly, everyone has a little different flavor, favorite color, and get out there and throw those around any kind of shallow water structure, whether you're fishing docks, rock piles, etc. You will find some fish. Now, some of the other reports we've been getting this week haven't actually been some of those exotic fish, southern fish moving up the bay, and right now we're seeing a decent amount of puppy drum being caught randomly throughout the Patapsco, Magothy, in the South River. It's been, I wouldn't say consistent enough where you're going to get one every time you get out there, but there's a chance. I've seen plenty of people posting stuff about, fish being caught while they're perch fishing with the perch hounders, sabikis, anything small around shallow water areas, especially where there's rocks. There's some of those fish are getting up to like 17 inches, so that's something cool that we're seeing right now. Bluefish are starting to make their way up to the Upper Bay too right now. We're seeing a little bit more bluefish moving throughout the area, especially Baltimore Lighthouse, around the channel edges there, Luff Point. Whenever there's tide movement and you're getting some of those, bait fish flowing out the river, you're seeing a little bit more rockfish, or scully rocks and blues mixed in there. As you move south a little bit more, there's getting, more and more of that, those bay anchovies and silver sides moving throughout the area, and we're seeing some decent sized bluefish around Poplar Island, and the rock fishing around those rocks has been pretty productive with some bigger fish being around that area there. I know we talked about it before, but that's been pretty consistent so far. If you're getting ready for some of those bigger fish, obviously going up north towards Poles Island, Hart Miller Island, Hodges Bar, there's been a decent amount of fish up there, mainly when your tides are moving and there's bait fish moving around. So check that out. I know the guys are still drifting eels up there and doing pretty well doing so. Once again, spot perch are in the area, some small croakers, and some of those surprise visitors, like some little small tiny black sea bass too being caught. Other than that, if you're fishing from the shoreline, Ken Arrows is picking up pretty well right now at night, so get out there and try some surf casting, and that'll be a decent spot to break in a new surf rod for this season, throwing some metals or some of those inline sinkers with a small jig or feather jigs out there. Once again, moving south, the mackerel are starting to kind of push a little bit south, but they're still around. I will say anything consistent will be pretty much the mouth of the chop tank all the way down to the target ship. They're still catching a lot of cobia now that we're talking about down south. Decent amount of cobia in Maryland waters. Season is going to be ending here soon on the 16th, I believe. That's when it ends, so get out there right now. There's people trolling for them with hoses. There's people sight fishing for them, or just by catching them when people are fishing around big schools of bluefish blowing up on bait. So make sure you carry some bigger plastic like the 7-inch diesel minnows, 1.5 ounce jigs or 1 ounce jigs, and even some of those stick baits will work really good for them. So there's still a chance to get those big fish. Bull reds are kind of spread out more. They're more down south now, not as consistent as it was weeks ago. So we're in the tail end of that. Pretty much going into Virginia waters is going to be your best bet, or kind of cruise around until you find a couple in Maryland waters. Crabbing wise, it's kind of hit or miss still. but they're getting heavier. Remember, this is the time of year when we're about to get that snap, and those crabs are going to be feeding heavily soon, and it's going to be your probably few last chance to get some of those crabs before the season tapers off here. So that's it for your fishing report, guys. Make sure you get out there, stop by, get some stuff for your next trip, and we'll see you guys around. Have a good one.